Hey, Shani from SpeedCubeReview.com. So I get asked a lot what magnets are best for magnetic puzzles. And there's no such thing as best. It's really what you prefer. Now, if you've never made one before, it's hard to figure that out. So the most common ones are 4x2 millimeters that people are using, and usually N35 or N50. There's ones in between as well, like N42. Often you'll see people with Volks or GANs using N35 and GTS N50 because the plastic's a little bit thicker. But, which one will you like? And if you don't do one of those puzzles, how do you know which one to use? The other thing that is then 2x2s and 4x4s. What do you use for those? Because those plastics are a little bit thinner, and also you're doubling up the magnet. So how do we know what to do? One thing is just always ask, but don't ask what is best. Ask, which one did you like or what did you use? That's a little more appropriate and can give you a better idea. But there's websites where they can gauge the strength of the magnet. So for example, if you go to this website, I'll link in the description, you can plug in the strength of the magnet and the size of it, whether it's in inches or millimeters, and it'll tell you about how strong it'll be. And then you can also say what the distance between it is. So if you want to add in the thickness of the plastic, that will also help you figure that out. Now, one thing to note, also doubling, like putting two magnets end to end, is not going to double the strength exactly because the surface area is different. On the GTS puzzles, I put in N35, but it was a little bit too light, so I doubled those up. Now, this is how I figured out what magnets I should use for a 4x4 and 2x2. Since I like the feeling of the Volk, I want to find something that was about half that since I'm putting double the magnets in. Now, there's a lot of other factors, of course, with how big the puzzle is, how many pieces are moving, what the weight of it is, and there's all these little fine things. But you can figure out kind of what the strength is going to be like and what might work best. Now, if there's a puzzle you're interested in and you're wondering what the thickness of the plastic is and you don't have a thing to measure that, let me know. I can measure that and let you know what I can find. Please only ask that if you're really interested in it, because that's, I don't always have time to do all of that, and I'll try to answer as many things as I can. In the end, it's a lot like lubrication and other things, where it's extremely personal preference. Now, there's also a factor to consider with what your goal is with the magnets. So for example, do you want something that feels clicky and you want that clicky feel, or do you want something that just feels slightly more stable? So on my Volk, I really like that clicky feel. It wants to click into place really well. For my 4x4, it doesn't click as much, still does a little bit, but it just gives a little more stable feeling instead of giving a clicky feeling. Now, a lot of the magnets I've gotten off eBay, there's a few companies I've talked to, and there's a different strength I'm looking at that I'm going to try in a 5x5. So thank you very much. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future, and as always, stop by SpeedCubeReview.com for more news and reviews.